performance from the East Coast. Pretty nice mix there regionally across the board.
What's amazing is that Corniche just won a $2 million race, and his earnings still not matching the price through the sales ring at 1.5.
Yeah, but if you sold him today, it certainly would cover that cost. Yeah, I mean, he was a very, very high-priced 2-year-old in training, and he's lived up to it here. Good mover, undefeated, and he's worth a lot more than that $1.5 million right now.
Yeah, like your house over the summer. He gained equity.
Yeah.
There's a look at Mike Smith. Another one in the tally of the winningest rider in the history of the Breeders' Cup, Caton.
And when you look at the pedigrees, the sires of the top 3 finishers, you have some hope looking forward to the Classics next season. All 3 definitely have some stamina influences. The winner by Quality Road and the runner-up by Gun Runner.
Where have we seen that before?
Seen that a few times in the past, right, Dave? Mike Smith celebrating.
Dreams of that moment.
Looking at the heavens.
Take those flowers and throw them into the ocean air there at
Another dominating performance, Dave. The 2-year-old races were complete and utter domination.
Front end
of the 2 winners. Yeah, just better horses. They're just better than this crop at this point. Things can change next year, but right now, Corniche is a lot better than the rest of the 2-year-olds. Papa Cap and Jan Game both ran well, just weren't good enough. Second and third to complete the trifecta. As Simon pointed out, the final time just about the same as juvenile fillies, and they were 2 runaway winners. So very impressive. Congratulations to all the connections. Owner Speedway Stable LLC, Smith, Baffert, and the owner of the Breeders, Bart Evans and Stonehaven.
12-4-7-10, 10-cent super, $262.21. That's the TVG Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Now we have one more race to come. It is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, and then we will be done with the 2-year-old racing that took place today on Friday, and we'll have 9 Breeders' Cup races tomorrow at Del Mar, where it concludes with the Breeders' Cup Classic as race number 12. So 3 non-Breeders' Cup races. First one, by the way, early, 10:15 Pacific time.
Early start tomorrow. A lot of good betting opportunities. And one more here, Dave. You mentioned the last race. I'm looking at the tote right now. The 1 horse is 5-2. Other than that, you get a winner, it's going to be double digits. Good gambling race here to close out the Friday card.
All right, we have to go back to Golden Gate. Remember, 2 late scratches when they got to the gate of both the 6 and the 7. Here's what happened.
Torquay is in. We're ready to go. And we're off. BJ Spirit off slowly there from the inside post. Is moving up, though, all the way to the lead. BJ Spirit from the inside was last out of the gate, is first approaching the clubhouse turn. Opens up a length and a half on Torquay on a hold, running in the second spot. Song of Fire drafting right behind her. Lorraine's Legacy parked deep as they charge into the clubhouse turn. Simmer down on the outside in the clear. Dirt Flirt to the inside of that rival. Those 2 about 3 lengths off the leader here. Length in front of Cultured Pearl. Then last inning, towards the back of the field, she has 1 horse beat, and that's Miss Everready, who is the clear trailer. Onto the backstretch, BJ Spirit on the lead with Ruben Fuentes, in front by a length and a tail from Torquay in second. Lorraine's Legacy 3 deep on the course in third. Farther out, Simmer Down is parked 4 wide, the Southern California shipper. Song of Fire down on the inside in a good stalking position today. She's 2 ahead of last inning. Cultured Pearl, Dirt Flirt to the inside of those 2, and a gap of 4 to Miss Everready. Jockey Pedro Torrero wants more from her, asking her to pick it up at the back of the field. Into the far turn, BJ Spirit continues to pave the way. 3/4 of a length ahead, now a half length, now a neck. Torquay gets a lot closer from the outside. Those 2 even with 5/16 to go. Song of Fire right behind the leaders right now, niggled along a little bit. Lorraine's Legacy pinning her in from the inside. 2 back to Cultured Pearl. Dirt Flirt is dropping out of it. Simmer Down is plummeted to the back of the pack as they swing off the turn. BJ Spirit loses the lead to Torquay. Song of Fire switches outside, and Cultured Pearl is coming on nicely at a price. Here's Cultured Pearl, and Evan Roman striking the front, coming to the 16th pole, puts away the competition, and Cultured Pearl, the daughter of Cyclotron, will spring the upset at 16-1. She won going away, too. 3.5 lengths the winning margin. Photo for second. Song of Fire was in it with Miss Everready, who got going late from the back of the field. Torquay in that photo as well. Last inning 5th.
Friday and Saturday. Get cash back for finishing second or third on all Del Mar races. We'll refund your first win wager up to $10. Breeders' Cup Friday and Saturday. Bet to win to get money back for finishing second or third. Opt in at tvg.com/promos. With the TVG app, get expert analysis and free handicapping advice from here. Place a bet in just a few simple taps from here. And even stream races live from here. Access, analysis, and action from anywhere. Get cash back for finishing second or third on all Breeders' Cup races. TVG. Onto the app. Off to the races.
Welcome back. Golden Gate Fields. One more race to go. 5 minutes away from their nightcap. Really short price here on the 2 Tis Vicious. Who's been knocking on the door. 0 for 8 lifetime, but coming close. Is today the day? That's a short price.
First time for maiden 8 for Tis Vicious. As you look at the 6, Dreamed It. Showed nothing in his debut. In a good barn, though, and wasn't a good barn. Mark Glad had the horse at Del Mar. Got a little bit of action, and now Steve Speck's got the horse for owner-breeder Dr. Rodney Orrs. So the connection's good and a nice price.
There's 7, Excessive Cat, coming off of an effort where he bolted last time out and dropped the rider. Going to take a big class drop.
Philippe Fast is next. Shown some improvement in the last 2 starts. And, of course, that usually happens when you drop from maiden races in Southern California to 5 at Golden Gate and 5 at Fresno. It has shown a sign of life in the last 2 starts.
The 9 is Scratch. The 10, Mystic Traveler, is going to round out our field. 3 maiden special weight races to begin his career. He dropped in class last time out. Got bet, went off a 2-1 against the maiden 12.5s, and now is going to drop in for 8,000.
Good race to close things out. Short price favorite, and looking forward to a Dirt Mile tomorrow, Dave. It always to me been kind of a tricky race because it really is a race for horses who aren't fast enough to win going 6 furlongs, and some can't get the mile and a quarter. It's an in-between race, and for that reason, I think it's very hard to handicap sometimes for me.
Well, there's going to be a pretty short price in there, and Life is Good, odds on. You know, he's only lost 1 race, and that loss came against Jackie's Warrior, who's going to be the prohibitive favorite in the sprint. So, you know, he's so fast. He was on his way to the Kentucky Derby before he got knocked off of that trail after an injury in the following the San Felipe. Change Barnes, Todd Pletcher has him now. And this is a horse that early on in his career, we knew he was good. When he won the San Felipe by 8, he drifted down a little bit, though. Maybe that was a sign that he was going to be hitting the sidelines soon.
Could be, Dave. I thought the same thing. Well, here, but to put this in perspective, the For Now Derby winner was 8 lengths back. That was Medina Spirit, who was second behind him. That's how brilliant he was and how precocious he was way back in March. Since then, he got beat a neck at Saratoga, but he got beat by Jackie's Warrior, going 7 furlongs off the layoff.
Following C, who came back and won a greatest.
I'm not going to hold that against him. And then he came back and crushed an overmatched field at Belmont in the Kelso. So he definitely deserves to be favored, and he's going to be odds on for Bob Baffert and Irad Ortiz.
That being said, there's a horse in here that is just pretty average horse when he leaves Del Mar. Ginobili is not very, very good at Santa Anita, off the board in some allowance races. But he's perfect 2 for 2 this year at Del Mar. He won the Pat O'Brien at 7 furlongs. We know he can go a mile because he won by 10 lengths against Allowance Company in the start before that. And he broke his maiden at 19-1 for Richard Baltas here at Del Mar. He just loves this track.
Crushed this field in the Pat O'Brien. That's CZ Rocket and Flagstaff behind him. But, Dave, I'm amazed by the improvement. You look at his numbers and his races. They went from so-so to off the charts in that month in between the San Diego and Del Mar. So they put the blinkers on. It's hard to believe the blinkers made that much of a difference. And if they did, why didn't they go on sooner? I found that kind of odd, too.
I don't think it's blinkers. I just think he loves this track. I mean, remember his maiden win?
But he got beat in between at this track. It's not like he's undefeated there.
Yeah, he lost the Grade 1
you're talking
Del Mar Futurity.
25,
that's his loss.
25, 30-point improvement?
Yes. That's how much he loves Del Mar.
It's a big move up. It's a brilliant win last time, you know. But those if you take out those last 2 races, he's 30-1 in here.
50-1.
Right? Yeah. It's just a huge turnaround by an older horse later in his career. He used to be known as Gino Billy, but he is now officially known as Ginobili, right? Ginobili, as Barkley
Trevor
used to
Denman
say.
did call him Gino Billy in his career debut.
We're back to Ginobili now.
But he's a win machine.
He's a fast horse, very, very fast horse, and should get a nice trip in the race.
Let's get some more thoughts as we head back down to Del Mar. Matt Carruthers get out of here. Scott Hazelton,
out.
Get out of here. Christina's coming in. Hey, Christina.
Hey guys, great to be with you. It has been certainly a fun and exciting afternoon, and one more race to go, but I was listening in to your conversation about the dirt mile coming up tomorrow. I like Ginobili as well. I love this horse going into his last race. I think it was a real breakout performance. 2 starts back for him. I think he's better around 2 turns. And Richard Beltis just has him going well right now. That is the key. He's a horse that they've always had faith in. They've always had ability, or faith in his ability. Putting those blinkers on was certainly key in the last couple of races, and just getting him to 100%. I follow the Thorograph numbers. I know that you do as well, Dave. I think he runs a new top. I think he's coming off some big performances. I think he's had enough time. A big part of Thorograph is the rest. Have they had enough rest to recover? He absolutely has. I think he fires a very big shot coming up tomorrow in the dirt mile. Of others in here that you could consider, I wouldn't sleep on Silver State. And I think he actually might not get too much attention because I think so many people are going to be focusing on Life is Good, and that Ginobili might get, a little more attention, be kind of the wise guy horse. Silver State, I've been watching him train. My gosh, is he a stunning individual. I actually had a chance just to catch up with Steve Asmussen when I was on the pony the other morning, and we weren't mic'd up, so it wasn't one of those moments where, he knew he was being interviewed, and I said, gosh, I'm surprised by how big that horse is. I'm surprised by how statuesque he is. It's not what I expected when you look at replays. I think he doesn't really look like a very big horse. And Steve just lit up talking about him. He says he's so good right now. He's in such good form. He's so classy. He went on quite the tear, of course, with that win in the Met Mile, but I think he really has him rounding back in to one of his career best performances.
Kristen, we only have a quick second here, but you know me, I have a fondness and a soft heart for old-time horses who fire every time out. I don't think you can win, but Restrained Vengeance, the job Val Brinkhoff has done with this gelding, he's made almost $1 million. He's won at Albuquerque, Santa Anita, Zia, Del Mar, and Golden Gate. And Christina, he's a throwback. He's a racehorse who travels and shows up. Again, he's probably not fast enough, but full credit to Brinkhoff and the owners for the campaign they've had with this horse over the years.
You gotta love it, and where this horse has taken them,
Yeah.
And also it's, I think, kind of nice sometimes to come in under the radar a little bit, pressure's off. If he fires a big shot, if he hits the board, they go home feeling like winners.
All right, we're going to talk race number 9 here at Golden Gate real quickly, and then after that, down to Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. But it is post time, barring another gate delay. We seem to have one every race at Golden Gate today.
Tell you how much I like Restrained Vengeance, Dave. I don't often do this. I went down to the paddock yesterday, and Val Brinkhoff was saddling a horse. And I know Val a little bit, not real well, just from being on track. I say to Val, I just want to tell you, I really enjoyed watching this horse compete and what the job you've done managing him. And I said, by the way, can I have a hat? Can I get a Restrained Vengeance hat? So he said yes. So I got a hat on order with Val Brinkhoff because I'm a big fan of this horse.
And he's a big fan of the horse, taking him anywhere he needs to go to pick up those stakes wins. He's made like $600,000?
900.
900,000.
$500,000 in the last 2 years. $500,000, and he's co-owned by Val. So that's a good run, Dave.
Get out to Matt Dinnerman. Here is the 9th and final from Golden Gate.
Last one to step in, and that's a definite. Winning Magic now in. We're ready to go in the finale. And they're off in a slow break from Filippi Fast, and having a take up right after the start was Dreamed It. Those two away awkwardly, second to last and third last respectively, passing Elegant Lad, who has no early pace. There's a battle on the lead, though. Winning Magic on the inside, up there with Mystic Traveler, now easing off. Winning Magic, who clears off with a half mile to go, opens up a length and a half. Mystic Traveler is back in second, stalking the pace. Excessive Cat joins him from the outside in the blue cap as they hit the far turn run. A length and a half to Tiz Vicious, saving ground around the far turn. He's fourth around this turn, niggled along a little bit. A gap of 2 to Union Boy. Aragal pushed along, not responding. Filippi Fast under pressure. So is Elegant Lad well behind. Dreamed It still at the back as they swing off the turn. Here's Mystic Traveler challenging Winning Magic on the front end. Tiz Vicious right behind them, asked to pick it up. Tries to get through between horses. Now angles outside, coming with a run. Mystic Traveler got the jump. Tiz Vicious coming on the scene. He finds daylight. He's charging. Mystic Traveler the leader, but Tiz Vicious is wearing him down from the outside. It's going to be tight, and now it's Tiz Vicious who overtakes the early leader, Mystic Traveler. Tiz Vicious the winner over Mystic Traveler. Union Boy was third, then Winning Magic faded to fourth. Excessive Cat
2, 10, 4. So the big favorite ends up getting up just in the nick of time.
Not Sid Vicious, but Tiz Vicious gets some money for all the Sex Pistols fans out there.
presentation from the previous race, the TVG Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So while we get him locked in and set up, we'll get you through this post breed here in just a second. Phil, come on to the track here, and I'll let you take the European runners. We'll kick it off with Modern Games, Rishi.
Who I think is tailor-made for this race, Simon. I think the way he's progressed through the year suggests that he's got all the tools needed to deliver a huge performance in this Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. He travels easily, and he has a turn of foot, and he is just rock solid. He's the pick of the Charlie Appleby runners. Charlie Appleby's won this race twice. He's won it with Line of Duty most recently. He won it with Outstrip before that. Massar was his other runner. His other runner today is Albar, who has already won a Grade 1 at Woodbine. Frank Dettori gets aboard Albaha. Kieran Fallon rides Albaha in his work, and Kieran Fallon is adamant that even though a lot of people seem to think that Modern Games is the #1, Kieran Fallon thinks that Albaha can beat him, but I think on the evidence of what we see, Modern Games is the #1.
3 is Dakota Gold, Louis Saez, Danny Gargan, undefeated in 2 starts, ran at Monmouth Park. And that turf course kind of similar to what we have here at Del Mar, 7 furlong configuration, 2 tight, 2 turns. Here's Tis the Bomb. That's the aforementioned horse that broke through the gate last time out and responded with a huge win in the Bourbon over good ground. He makes a nice appearance here at 10-1. Slipstream, Christophe Clement. So often happens when you're on an 0-for-42 Schneid in the Breeders' Cup, you break through. Maybe you come right back here and win again with Slipstream, doing the same sort of move here, coming out of some sprint races, stretching it back out for the son of More Than Ready. McKinnon, Best of the West, undefeated around 2 turns. He's owned by Colorado Avalanche NHL player Eric Johnson. He'll be watching from back home. Great max to 7, Rishi.
Yeah, slightly concerned to see him this sweaty in the lead up to the race. He won first time at Newbury in a novice race and then stepped up in grade in his next 4 starts and hasn't quite matched the best of the European form in this. Glounthaune is a very interesting runner. Aidan O'Brien, as we know, has won this race 4 times. This horse has run 3 times. He was disappointing in Dewhurst, but he had excuses that day.
Stolen Base, the 9 for Michael Maker. He hasn't won a race on the grass, but he's run second in 2 decent efforts, including the most recent behind Tis the Bomb. He'll be launching from far off the pace. Portfolio company for Chad Brown. Similar sort of resume here. Comes in on 2 consecutive second-place finishes. We'll probably be laying closer to the pace on what we've seen thus far at 8-1. Grafton Street for Mark Cassie at 30-1, coming off a maiden win last time out. The 12 Credibility for Mark Cassie. We bumped into him the other night. He just says he's had terrible luck coming to the Breeders' Cup here in California with post position. He gets 3 horses, post 11, 12, and 13. Coinage being the 3rd of those, finishing behind Dakota Gold last time out. And here's arguably the best European on form, but the price is up because of the post, Rishi.
The best form of the Europeans, but the worst of the draw for Dubawi Legend. He was second in the Dewhurst and Native Trail, who is an outstanding horse. Native Trail, trained by Charlie Appleby.
Best 2-year-old in Europe right now, right? Would you say?
Arguably, he is the best 2-year-old colt in Europe, for sure. Dubawi Legend ran a cracking race. He was slightly disappointed on his second start, but he bounced back to form in the Dewhurst. Hugo Palmer, his trainer, has always thought very highly of him.
Let's bring in Todd Schrupp now. He's hustled his way over from the front side. After the trophy presentation, we'll bring him in momentarily.
And we start with our DRF formulator in this race, and it is concerning the favorite, Modern Games. Trainer Charlie Appleby is 5 for his last 10. That's a 50% win percentage. That's kind of easy math to do there. With a $3.60 return on investment and 4 for his last 4 with foreign shippers on the turf. As the field goes out to warm up for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, we go out to Joaquin Jaime.
Well, Danny, your horse in here, Dakota Gold, he's won sprinting on the dirt. He's won routing on the turf. What do you think of his versatility so far in 2 races?
Well, you know, the first time it came off the grass, we're breezing him on the grass all summer at Saratoga. And when it came off, he's had some decent, really good dirt work. So we decided the timing it was time to run and get him started, because I was wanting to make the race at Monmouth all along.
14 horse fields. You need a lot of luck in here. What sort of trip do you need?
Well, you know, we'd love to see him break good, get over to the rail, lay 4th, 5th, somewhere in there, have a decent position, and hopefully turn for home. Things open up and we get a chance at it. You know, it's a big field, a lot of young horses. We're just blessed to be here.
Thanks, Danny. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Let's go back to Scott Hazelton.
Christophe Clement already with a win today with Pizza Bianca and looking to sweep these 2-year-old juvenile turf races here with Slipstream. How's he going to handle these 2 turns?
I guess we'll find out. He's never been that far before. I think he showed good speed. He's very good mentally. Joel knows him very well, so it's exciting. I think he's got a fair chance.
Good speed, does that mean that you think he'll be laying close to the pace?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think it would be foolish not to use his speed a little bit to get like some kind of a position. We don't have to be on the lead, but it would be nice to be, like stoking or pretty close to the pace.
How nice is it to now be a Breeders' Cup winner after what Pizza Bianca was able to do earlier?
Well, I'm not sure my life dramatically changed, but it's very nice, and I'm very happy, and I'm thrilled for the filly, and I'm thrilled for the owner.
Well done today, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Keisha.
Joined by trainer Mark Casse, represented by 3 horses here. Mark, let's go one by one, starting with Grafton Street, as he seemed a little bit revved up here in the paddock today.
I was happy to see that. He's really very quiet, crazy post position draw. I told somebody going in, I said, I know I can't be number 14. So I said the worst we can be is 12, 13, and 14. Instead, we're 11, 12, 13. But it's it makes it a little difficult from outside.
Credibility, what did he show you to make you say he deserves a spot in here? Does pick up Mike Smith as well.
I thought his last race was really good. Little bit of a troubled trip. And, in these races, you just have to have some luck. They haven't really separated themselves yet. And more than most races, this just need luck. So why not?
And Coinage, the New York bred, out of a Breeders' Cup winner as well. What have you seen from him?
I thought his race at Saratoga was tremendous. He had an excuse at Monmouth. So, again, I put Florent on him. I told him just catch a glimpse. So he rode Catch a Glimpse when she won the Breeders' Cup for us. And she goes to the lead. And that's hopefully we break run and he's going to go set the pace.
Mark, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Acacia, thank you. And just on value, Coinage, last time out in the now at Monmouth, was the heavy betting favorite that day. Dakota Gold beats him. Now Dakota Gold sitting up on the board at 7-1, and Coinage is sitting up on the board 45-1. It's amazing how we shift perspectives race to race. We are getting close to this field, stepping onto the turf course for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. A reminder about tomorrow. A free shot at $1 million. FanDuel is sponsoring the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Mile on the Turf presented by PDJF, and FanDuel is giving all Breeders' Cup fans a free shot at $1 million. All you have to do, this is all you have to do, Rishi and Simon, pick the correct order of finish in the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Mile. Play free at FanDuel.com or on the FanDuel Fantasy app. Again, completely free shot at $1 million. Why not? Maybe fortune will be smiling on you. Okay, let's bring it back to what's going on here to finish off this Future Stars Friday. So, Rishi, you were part of our breakfast at the Breeders' Cup. Simon established that earlier. Looking out on the track right now, you watch the Appleby runners in the morning. Is Modern Games looking as good in the afternoon as he did in the mornings to you?
He does, and he looks as good today as he's done all season long. The way he raced last time out, Todd, is what really lends me to think that this race is going to be tailor-made to suit him. He broke well from the gates. He travelled kindly. The horse who finished second to him that day is a horse called Trident, who ran really well in a Group 1 behind Perfect Power. That's strong form. And then when William Buick asked him to quicken, he put distance between himself and a very good horse in second. He is rock solid for this race.
And Simon, we talked so much and we kind of were wringing our hands over the rail draw for Modern Games, but we just watched that rail draw win in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. Granted, it was also a fantastic ride, but you can pull it off.
Oh, you can pull it off, and especially if you're good enough. And Pizza Bianca was good enough to overcome that despite being pushed back to last. Modern Games, to me, looks like this horse, I don't think is going to be too far back in the early stages. Despite coming from Europe, I think this horse is going to be sharp out of the gate. I mean, just looks phenomenal there on the track. You know, good energy, on his toes without being, expending too much energy. This horse is sitting on go. There's no question. And the beauty has been watching this horse all week long just get better and better and better.
And Rishi, these conditions just atmospherically a lot like back home, as really the marine layer is starting to close in again. The temperature has dropped to around 66 degrees. This is perfect for those horses coming from overseas.
This is typical autumn conditions in the UK, so it's perfect for our runners. So it will really suit them. I think, Simon, you were talking about horses being comfortable in cold weather or colder weather, which is absolutely true. And the struggle for European horses, generally, when they come over and it gets too hot, they struggle then.
Yeah, horses struggle in the heat. They can handle the cold weather. It's especially they struggle with heat when they come from a cooler climate to a hotter climate in particular. So all these runners look tremendous. Oh, the jockey, Frankie Dettori, unfortunately, just had to hop off the two.
He looks fine, though. He's right there.
And the assistant starter has the lead rein on him, so they're loading this horse first. Remember, a lot of these European horses went to the gate. The assistant starters and the crew have notes on this horse. Is this typical to put the hood on this horse, to your memory, or you can't remember?
Not that I remember. He's normally quite well behaved, and he's quite relaxed in his races and relaxed beforehand, because he's a really tough horse in his races. So slight concern. He's got a bit warm in the neck, a bit warm on the shoulder. This is a moment of concern for Albar.
My guess is that was by design, because we don't see that happen in the United States. They won't put a hood on a horse without the direction of the trainer.
The main thing is they take it off now.
Yep.
There is the story of John Longden way many years ago at Golden Gate. They put the blindfold on, forgot to take it off, and the horse broke out of the gate. Modern Games for Charlie Appleby has been a model citizen throughout the warm-up here. Moves in the line as our 2-to-1 favorite. Rishi, I don't think we're moving you off that horse, are we?
No way. I've been on him a long time in the lead-up to the British Cup, and I'm not going to desert him now. As you say, all the signs are very positive.
Simon?
Oh, I got to follow Rishi. I think Modern Games looks phenomenal here all week. You can't jump off even at the price at 2-to-1. It might look like a gift after this race.
It has been a fantastic start to 2 days of championship racing. Now the conclusion of Future Stars Friday. It's the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. And now we have the two going over Albahar. We're going to step away from this shot. We're going to take our camera away from this shot. Our camera is going to not go there. But we have the two cast in the stall. And obviously, concern here. Now the one Modern Games has, and I'm not sure if this was the assistant starters letting him out of the gate or if he broke through the gate. I didn't quite see it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but he didn't go too far down the racetrack. So the protocol's in place. We have a team of track veterinarians here. Obviously, there's going to be a delay and a late scratch of the two Albahar. That's a given. But what they will do, they will take Modern Games back behind the starting gate, will be inspected by the track veterinarians. They'll back the rest of the runners out and attend to Albahar. Unfortunately, reared up and got cast in the starting gate.
Okay, and again, just to emphasize, and this is true all over the world, not just at the Breeders' Cup, but on a daily basis at every race course on the planet. The health and well-being of our equine athletes, the men and women who ride them, always of paramount importance. So there is a veterinarian standing by at the starting gate for any type of incident. Now, the rule here in California is that if you flip over and end up on the ground, being in the paddock or there, you're an automatic scratch. We are waiting for word with the two Albahar, but the biggest concern is that Albahar is okay. And they have extricated Albahar from the starting gate, so the veterinarian is there to take a look at Albahar, and we are waiting for an announcement. Albahar was the second choice in the wagering at 4-to-1. The audience in the grandstand who are able to see what's taking place at the starting gate actually did applaud as they saw Albahar to his feet, but being unsaddled. We're going to have a late scratch here of Albahar. Very unfortunate incident, Rishi.
It is. I was, like I said a few moments ago, slightly concerned to see him so worked up. I know he may have needed the hood to go in, but this is unusual for him, so I'm glad to see he's okay. I hope Frankie's okay as well, because, of course, I didn't see...
I saw him on his feet about 30 yards behind the starting gate. He kind of just got out of the area there for the cause for concern. But
thank goodness.
Yeah.
So the late scratch of Albahar, but again, watching the horse leave the track. Simon, you're a former trainer. How does he look overall?
He looks fine. He's jogging back. You can see Frankie Dettori to the bottom left-hand corner of the screen there. He's running back to the jocks room.
Okay, so the second choice at the time of the scratch, Albahar is out. And just to repeat the parimutuel machinations of what that means, if you bet Albahar, win, place, and show, any vertical wagers, combinations in the trifecta, superfecta, super high five, they shall be refunded. If you are live in a pick 5 to Albahar, you'll get the post-time favorite. That's clearly the one Modern Games. The same is true of the pick 6. The same is true of the pick 4. You will get the post-time favorite. Those other horizontal wagers, daily double and pick 3s, will have consolation payoffs. But again, it turns out in the end okay. It's just very difficult for the connections to come all this way and have it end this way. But to Albahar, look, these are future stars Friday. He's got a big season ahead of him next year.
This is a test, though, for the remainder of the horses, because the majority of them were already in the gate. The adrenaline was up, the blood was pumping, and they were ready to go. Now they've got to simmer down and do it all over again. This is where a horse with a nature like Modern Games, who's quite relaxed and chilled, comes into play and is even more of a positive.
Talked about it all week. You've got to have the physical capabilities to get the job done on these World Championship weekends. But with young horses, you need the right mental disposition. So if you've got young horses, inexperienced horses, and where the starting gate is positioned, this is not a sprint race where the gate would be on the far side of the racetrack, where it's a little quieter, a little more relaxed they could be when they back up. They're right in front of a packed grandstand. There's a hospitality tent just to the left of them there. So there's a lot of noise, a lot of distractions for them. So that only adds to the tension once they've been loaded and now got to back out.
Yeah, it is a scene like nothing that these 2-year-olds have faced before. And we are waiting for the field to move into the starting gate, but there's an additional delay because the assistant starter who was with Albahar was injured in the incident. So they need to reorganize everything at the starting gate, get another assistant starter out there. And you can see the EMTs coming out to offer any assistant. But on our breakfast show earlier in the week, Joaquin Jaime showed us just how tight it can be there in the starting stall. And so with that incident, it was obviously rather dramatic, both for horse and assistant starter. The horse turned out to be relatively fine, heads back to the barn area. Unfortunately, that assistant starter was taken by ambulance to a local hospital. Simon, explain the protocol for our audience about ambulances at the racetrack. We do have 2 of them.
We do have 2 of them, and now one has been taken, right? You're saying the assistant starter has just been taken. So we have to wait till that ambulance comes back. What they will normally do with the hospital is situated about 20 minutes away. What they will do, they will call for another ambulance to meet this one in the parking lot. They will transport the patient to the new ambulance and then bring the other ambulance back. So this race can't be run until 2 ambulances are on property. You always see, the familiar shot of one following the runners and the riders around during the race. But there will be a slight delay here when we get through this situation.
Well, and the delay is up against sunset. Now, I don't think we're going to have a 17-minute delay, but sunset locally here is 5:54, and this hasn't been the clearest of days except for the early part. There are no lights here on the track. Now, it sounded to me like they were announcing another late scratch, although I don't see that. We did have Larry Colmus making an announcement to the crowd. So we're trying to get as much information as we can to you at this point. But again, the official scratch of the 2, Albahar.
And I'm looking out of our stand here. It looks like another ambulance is making their way around the track there from the far turn. So hopefully we can start the loading process here momentarily.
Okay, so again, after the late scratch of the 2, Albahar, but because of the incident, the assistant starter is hurt. We are getting word from Joaquin Jaime. Although we see the one Modern Games behind the starting gate with a saddle on, Joaquin Jaime, our reporter, has texted us that Modern Games is going to be scratched here. But with the way that horse is behind the starting gate, I have not seen that yet, unless that's what Larry Colmus's announcement was. But that is Joaquin Jaime, our reporter. Yep, and it has happened. Modern Games is now a late scratch out of here. Again, you see him behind the starting gate, but it has now been posted here inside. Rishi, I mean, this is just heartbreaking for Godolphin. 2 big chances in this race, Modern Games and Albahar, and neither one are going to go.
You said it. It is a huge blow to Charlie Appleby, to Godolphin, to the race, to lose these 2 horses. I tell you, I'm guarantee you, though, that Charlie Appleby will take it in his stride. That's the character that he is. It's disappointing, but he has said it many a time before, when horses get beat, when things go wrong, horses can't run in races. He knows that that is the game. Some days go your way, and some days they don't.
And just the odd coincidence, it starts with one of his horses and affects his other horse to the inside. So we wish our best to Charlie Appleby. But again, when there's any doubt, a horse is not going to go. If there's an incident at the starting gate, this is all about the health and well-being. Simon, now the interesting question becomes pari-mutually, who ultimately is our favorite? Who would have suspected that Dakota Gold would have been your favorite in the wagering for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf? That's where we stand right now because of these odd circumstances.
And now it breaks from post position 1. Went from post position 3 to 1 with the scratch of the inside 2 horses. And that's just tragic for Charlie Appleby that he loses his best chance of Modern Games because of the antics of the stablemate right next door. Had they been not drawn together, maybe we wouldn't see the situation. But yeah, there's a delay. Dakota Gold, I know. Maybe there's a situation here. I think, well, Louis Sires is going to force his hand now out of that inside post and go because there's not a lot of speed to his outside. I'm looking for Dakota Gold to be laying pretty close.
Simon, this is the biggest curveball I'm probably going to throw at you all week. Why is Modern Games still saddled and circling around there? I mean, they made the announcement, but is there something to this? Are they waiting for someone from the Appleby barn to get over there and help out with this situation? But why would he still be saddled and still behind there? Again, the announcement has been here in-house.
Yeah, I mean, usually they take the tack off right
and they
away.
Also, the assistant starters would be moving. Maybe they don't have to with the one, but they would be taking that number off.
Yeah, they don't.
So none of that's happening.
No, none of that's happening. They don't have to move the rest of the field in one. They'll just leave the one stall empty. But the fact is, usually the first thing they do when a horse is scratched is they take the saddle off. The assistant starters will do that. I don't know whether it's just a lack of manpower down there to do it because they're all walking the horses around. But there's not an extra set of hands. Maybe the rider doesn't want to take it off. But that would be my guess until maybe they get an extra pair of hands to untack the horse.
And again, sunset here locally, 5:54. It's already pretty dark, and they don't have lights on this track. It's not like they could turn that on. We're just kind of taking for granted that we'd probably get there before sunset actually happens. But there'll probably be enough light no matter what. But this is certainly a longer delay than we thought we were going to see here. And as Rishi so astutely pointed out, who handles that delay ultimately may have more to do with than what we see here in the past performances.
Real quick, sorry to jump in, Rishi. The only rider that has elected not to jump off the horse's back and relieve the weight off the horse's back is Ryan Moore on the 8th. So that's an interesting observation too.
Scott Hazelton.
Well, we've made our way up here into the box seats to talk to Chad Brown about the 10-horse portfolio company, who's 6-1. But first, let's start with this delay. If you're in this game long enough, you'll see everything. What do you make of this and these horses having to be held up at the gate like this?
Well, it's unfortunate as a horseman. You don't want your horses, any horses back there waiting too long behind a gate and the jockeys on and off and have them unsettled. So, fortunately, it looks like the horse was okay that was under the gate, and Frankie's fine. So that's what I was most concerned about. I'm not sure what the delay is about, but hopefully they get these horses loaded and get the race on soon.
How's your colt handling this delay back behind the gate?
I can't really see from here. He did great in the paddock. He's a little bit of a high-strung horse. As you've seen his race, he's a little rank. He's a little bit of a hot horse, so I hope it's not affecting him.
Is he going to be turned loose near the front end today?
We're going to let him run to the lead if he wants to be, I told Flavian, and if somebody really is hell-bent on having it, then he's fine to lay second.
Thanks, Chad. Thank you.
In this race, number 1, first money only.
Wow.
Number 1, Modern Games will race. He will race for purse money only. There will be no wagering on number 1, Modern Games. He will run in the race for purse money only.
Okay, so all the confusing signs we were watching have played out here. Modern Games was not being treated like a horse that was scratching, and Modern Games is not scratching. There was obviously some disconnect. If you were here at the racetrack and looking out at the tote board, you saw the one, Modern Games, and Modern Games was taking money. However, the tote system that we saw around the country, these graphics that you see here, that pull from that tote system, the one was a scratch. There were also various outlets around the world. I won't bring their names into it, but they had already refunded money on Modern Games because the global system had showed this horse as a scratch. So what we are happening now is Modern Games will run. So the connections can be made whole here and run for purse money, but all other wagers shall be refunded. This horse, at least from a betting point of view, will be treated like a late scratch. Wow. So you will get the 3 Dakota Gold, but you could have the odd circumstances where Modern Games wins as expected, as most horse players expected, and then you're watching to see who finishes second, because that's the horse who wins in the tote. Rishi, one thing about this game, you have never seen it all.
I have never seen this. I have never seen this. On my travels around the world and in the UK, I have never seen a race where a horse goes into the starting stalls, lines up at the start of a race, but does not count for wagering. That's something that is entirely new to me.
And Simon, here in the United States, we see it sometimes in New York. With a coupled entry, they have a rule. If one half of the entry is a late scratch, the other half gets to run, but for purse money only. Now, this was not an entry, obviously, but there were some technical circumstances that led to this, because Modern Games apparently should never have been a scratch.
Right. Obviously, there's some confusion. Al Baja was the scratched. Modern Games had to be examined by the vet because he broke through the gate. Obviously, there was some issue there and some miscommunication. He does get to run. That's the plus side, I guess, for Charlie Appleby. But unfortunately, if you're wagering on this horse, those wagers will not be accepted. And to your point, that's why he was walking around with the saddle still on.
And the other part to this is the money is pulled out from Modern Games. That drops everyone else's odds. So there's a lot to sort out here, and that the Breeders' Cup will be addressing in a post-day press conference. But it is suffice to say, as Rishi said in his travels, he's never seen something like this here in America. We occasionally see it, but in Breeders' Cup history, this is an absolute first. Modern Games moves in for purse money only, was the favorite at the time of the scratch of his stablemate Al Bahar, and now, well, he's in the Ethernet betting-wise, but he's in the starting gate still as the horse to beat. So, for those of you wagering here on the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, you're cheering. Maybe Modern Games gets beat. You'll be cheering for the second place finisher. That'll be the winner, very mutually speaking. But it is a star-crossed way to end the day on Future Stars Friday. Our favorite, as they move into line, is Dakota Gold. Let's go up to track announcer Larry Colmus. It's the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf.
Credibility, coinage, and Dubawi Legend. Just waiting for Dubawi Legend to take up position in the outside stall. He goes in, and they're all in line. They're off for the Juvenile Turf. And it's Dakota Gold who breaks sharply from the inside. Slipstream is up and on the pace. Portfolio Company goes up, and then Tis the Bomb. Farther out and moving up now is Coinage, and Coinage will confront Portfolio Company, and these two will take them into the turn. Their 1-2 Dubawi Legend is now moving up on the outside. Dakota Gold is down toward the rail, racing 3.5 lengths off the lead. Then Modern Games on the inside of Glounthaun. Grafton Street to the outside of them. Break of another 2 to Slipstream. They're being followed on the far outside by Credibility, and in between those two is Stolen Base as they head to the backstretch. Then back to McKinnon, Tis the Bomb, and Great Max at the back of the pack. 22.66 that opening quarter mile. Portfolio Company the leader. Coinage is 3/4 of a length behind, running in second. Dakota Gold, Dubawi Legend, and outside of them it's Grafton Street. Modern Games has 5 lengths to make up. Glounthaun's alongside, and then comes Credibility, followed by Slipstream, Stolen Base, and McKinnon. Tis the Bomb and Great Max. It is Portfolio Company and Coinage taking them around the far turn. 1-2. These two with Grafton Street coming 3 wide after them. Then Dubawi Legend in behind horses. Dakota Gold to the inside. Modern Games is now moving on the far outside. He's kicked it in, and he's closing down the center of the course with 1 furlong to run. Grafton Street to catch. Modern Games on the outside, closing that gap. Dakota Gold and Slipstream are next, but it's Modern Games. Modern Games will win the Juvenile Turf. Under the wire clear. Tis the Bomb came flying late. Then came McKinnon, followed by Grafton Street and Dakota Gold.
Well, I got to tell you, that sound you hear behind us, I don't know what to say. I mean, it says it all. I'm not going to follow up on it. I've never heard anything like that at the Breeders' Cup either. Modern Games wins as most of this crowd expected, but tickets will be refunded on Modern Games. And if you have this horse horizontally, you go to the favorite. The favorite does not win. Dakota Gold. Modern Games wins. As far as who ultimately did win parimutually, it's the 4, Tis the Bomb. This is a mess that's going to be sorted out for quite some time. Let's go back to the performance here. Rishi, Modern Games is everything you said he would be.
Modern Games, confusion reigns. Modern Games didn't get the best start, but got a good position, and he is just tough, uncomplicated, gets the job done. He's a real professional. Fantastic for Charlie Appleby and William Buick. They win this race again. Charlie Appleby, his 3rd win in a juvenile turf from 4 runners. An incredible record. It's unfortunate that he has to have this reception, but it's not about the horse, it's not about the trainer. The crowd obviously disappointed. Connections, though, will be delighted.
Charlie Appleby, I mean, 20 minutes ago, he was looking at the possibility of not running either horse. One, Al-Bahar, was scratched out of this race. That's the highs and lows of horse racing in 20 minutes. You lose one runner, you come back here. And we've always said this horse has stood out on our Breakfast of the Breeders' Cup work shows earlier this week. Essential Quality in the Classic was one. This horse was another. To me, he'd look Rishi. I said it all week long. He's built for American racing. He's short, sharp, he's nimble, he's agile, he's not too big, he can handle the turns and just absolutely floats over the ground.
And look at this hunger to do the job. He loves it. He loves to go fast, he loves to go forward, he loves to respond to his rider.
So it's a photo for second, but just watching it, the 4 did get there. Tis the Bomb. That on the parimutuel front, that's what you're going to be dealing with, and the top spot here. But I'm with Rishi in so many ways. This was one of the most brilliant performances on the card, and it's going to be overshadowed by, we still don't know why this parimutuel mishap happened, but I have never heard a crowd like this. Even after Zenyatta lost to Blame, people were just sad. This crowd is sitting around and jeering because most of them felt Modern Games would turn in this performance, and he did. Congratulations to owner Godolphin. This homebred Modern Games is by DeBowie out of the new approach mare Modern Ideals, trained by Charles Appleby. The connections have been made whole. The problem is the grandstand behind us and people around the country, and the Breeders' Cup is going to have to address that, at least explain things and what could happen, move forward. It is really unfortunate because this day was going along splendidly until all this.
Right. So just because you're always good at this, Todd, explain what happens in those, horizontal wages. I mean, say you're alive in a pick 5 to the 1 and the 2.
You ended up with the 3 Dakota Gold.
Yeah.
So,
who you probably didn't want going in, and ends up as a favorite.
The problem with all of this is that then you're watching the horse you liked to begin with, the horse who was the favorite out there, because if this had gone the way it's supposed to and the 1 stayed in the race, everyone has the winner who played the 2 Al-Bahar, and they're all happy. They watched one of the best performances of the day. They may not have had the 1 Modern Games, but they end up on him.
Yeah.
He ends up
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Instead, you have a medal. You have a medal.
Well, there are some markets in the UK that reinstated Modern Games,
right,
and some that didn't. Total, utter confusion.
Yeah. It's just so, and I feel for the connections because Modern Games is coming back, and with each announcement, the punters who are here in the grandstand are not happy and jeer, and it's not for the horse. Again, this is as good of a Breeders' Cup juvenile turf winner we've seen since they instituted the series for 2-year-olds on the grass, and both William Buick and Modern Games should be coming back to a much different grandstand, and had this worked out the way it was supposed to, with the 2 being a late scratch and everybody getting the 1, this would be a joyous grandstand, and they'd be getting the accolades they deserve.
So that's the pari-mutuel result. The 1 crosses the wire first for purse money, but 4, 6, 11, 3, 5 as far as wages go.
I can't understand this. I cannot understand this whatsoever. What happens here in America? I'm totally confused.
Stays in America, apparently.
Yeah. What I do know is that Charlie Appleby's 2-year-olds are outstanding. Bear in mind that Native Trail won 2 Group 1s from 4 starts this season, and he's the unbeaten, the best 2-year-old colt around. He's also got another horse that some people think is better than Native Trail, a horse called Caribus. Then, of course, he's got Al-Bahar, obviously didn't show his stuff today. Thankfully, he's okay. He's a Grade 1 winner in Canada. And then this guy, Modern Games, has done what he's done in this latter part of the season. I mean, we're talking about 4 high-class horses, and they're more waiting in the wings.
Yep.
There are more waiting in the wings. There are horses that have run once, twice. He has got as good a 2-year-old team as I can remember someone other than Aidan O'Brien in Europe at the moment.
This horse was so good, he was unbettable, Richie.
What is right? Enjoy your refund, Richie. But, you know, on a serious note, that was a very good serious note. We needed a laugh. So at Breakfast at the Breeders' Cup, you really did a fantastic job taking us through where Godolphin is and where Charles Appleby figures in all of that, and he is backing their confidence here.
He has fulfilled every expectation that Godolphin would have had for him when he took the job over, 9 years ago, but he has far exceeded what they would have expected in that space of time. Let's face it, Godolphin on the world stage had just gone under par by their own very high standards, but he has brought them right back to the top of international racing. And this success from Modern Games, irrespective of all the shenanigans that have gone on before the race, suggests that they have got a horse that they can take on the world stage, and who knows, he can also dominate in Europe. He is such a lovely horse. He's got such a lovely nature as well.
Guinea's horse for next year, that's where they'll be pointing, right? Do you think?
He wouldn't be first or second choice for the race.
Wow.
In the stable.
In the stable. Well, you did tell us who the best is in the stable. I didn't know he was that much better than Modern Games. That is saying something. We are waiting for this race to go official. What time do you guys have dinner plans? Because I'm thinking, when you're telling me there's some markets that refunded, some markets who didn't, I mean, I don't know how they're going to sort this out behind the scenes. We have the odds up there, but if they're requiring us to sit here until it goes official, I may miss dinner, Simon.
Yeah, well, we can bring some snacks out, I guess.
And there is Modern Games and William Buick. What a fantastic ride. And let's not forget, he did break through the starting gate early. 90% of the time, horses who are allowed to go back and run don't win. So he had a lot go wrong here that wasn't his fault, and he still overcame it and won with devastating ease.
He's a horse that's so tractable and so willing to do what the rider wants that it wasn't a surprise that once he had broken through the gate, he was able to be reined in by William Buick. And a word about William Buick has had also, on a personal professional level, an amazing year. He got married this year to his partner, Jane. He is now a dad. He chased Oisin Murphy down in the championship.
That went down to the wire, didn't it?
Right, just a little bit short in the end. But he had a fabulous season, and now he's continuing to have success on the world stage. He and Charlie Appleby are a very, very formidable team.
Modern Games, and prices do come in. Tis the Bomb, your winner pari-mutually.
The winner ran second.
Simon, do you want to get this grandstand going again? Come on, everyone's trying to get out. Figure this out for tomorrow. Tis the Bomb pari-mutually is your winner, $17.60, but the connections to be read are for purse money. Modern Games, homebred for Godolphin, William Buick aboard, trained by Charles Appleby, Chestnut Colt by DeBowie out of the new approach mare, Modern Ideals. That ends the Players Show for this Friday.
Well, what a chaotic way to end things on this first of 2 days for our Breeders' Cup World Championships. Bringing back to the studio, Dave Weaver and Kurt Hoover. We'll get to some other racing momentarily, but speechless.
Couple things, Dave. It's obviously, it's really too bad because it was a great day of racing. Everything had gone so well, some brilliant performances, you know, some really impressive racing. And then this happens at the end, and Dave, this kind of stuff cannot happen. I mean, there's no excuse for that. I don't know how that could happen in this day and age with the technology available in this world. If this happened 50 years ago, you'd say, okay, maybe somebody didn't get the phone call or the notice. There is no excuse for it. It needs to be addressed big time because you're going to have a lot of people, you and I were discussing here in the studio, who are maybe first time to the track, first time to the Breeders' Cup, don't understand pari-mutuel wagering, how things work with scratches. They're going to have a ticket on the one horse, go to the window and get a refund. Now, they will get a refund, obviously, but it's going to cause mass confusion. And again, Dave, it's a major miscommunication / whatever. And it can't happen. I will throw one other thing, too, and I've been on the soapbox for a long time. What would help this in these kind of odd situations? Alternates. Alternates are available at some places when you're playing pick 4s and pick 6s and pick 5s, but not everywhere. It needs to be addressed to, because that would have helped that situation, Dave, a little bit, right? If you like somebody else, you make it your alternate. If you don't like the 3, you're ending up with the favorite by default. Anyway, Dave, it's a mess, and it's too bad because it was a great day of racing with some brilliant performances, but a real scramble. And it takes away from the win by that horse, and it shouldn't. That horse was tons the best. At the 3/8 pole, looked like a winner and showed the class and won very, very nicely, but it sure brings down the end of the show.
It's going to look a little weird here looking at the prices without the one anywhere in them, but here are your official prices with Tiz the Bomb getting the win mutual, $17.60, as the one was a purse money only late scratch. The consolation double to both the 1 and the 2, $2.70 a piece. If you had either of those horses in the pick 4, pick 5, pick 6, you end up on the favorite, who did not get the job done.
And, just to make it more clear, that the winner, Modern Games and its connections, get the $600,000. That's what goes to the winner of the race. So the 4 is Tiz the Bomb.
Still gets the second place
but he gets
money.
second place money. I mean, that's another thing to keep in mind. The purse money is still paid out the same way with the, I guess you call it unofficial winner. I don't know how else to word it, but a mess, David. It needs to be addressed big time and find out who was responsible and how something like that could happen in 2021.
Let's zip around the country for some other racing right now. We're going to start out at Penn National. Here's what happened in race number 5.
There. Gray Quest came away well on the outside. Go Signal moves up between horses. Spooky One close up as well. Gray Quest has it by about a length. Go Signal is second. Spooky One races third. Length and a half then to He's a Rearview Town in fourth. To the outside then comes Rockstar Romeo on the move, and at the back is Sir Steel. They head to the turn, 22-1 for the opening quarter. Gray Quest the outside, Go Signal inside, vying for command. Here comes Rockstar Romeo now, third and going up. Spooky One now fourth. Then you go back about 5 lengths to He's a Rearview Town. Sir Steel still trails. Gray Quest has the lead as they come to the quarter pole, but Rockstar Romeo now challenging from the outside. About a length and a half then to Go Signal. Another 2.5 then back to Spooky One as they race to the 8th pole. Rockstar Romeo takes over now. Has it by about a length and a half. To the outside, Go Signal's making a run now, looking to challenge. And coming on from last, here's Sir Steel. But Rockstar Romeo opens up once more. Has it by about 2. Rockstar Romeo with command. Go Signal was next with Sir Steel and Gray Quest.
All in. They're off. Premier Pick 4 underway. Good start, Costello's Kitten and Bruce Lee. They launch out of there together, third early on. That's Rainbow Gold under the line, fourth right now. For the first time, that's Ronick. Sidebar moving up into fifth from the outside as they go to the first turn. Courageous Timmy, Silver Nuggets, and at the back, Dallas Gold rounds out the field. Into the first turn, up front, Bruce Lee showing the way, out by 3 lengths over Costello's Kitten and Rainbow Gold. Another length and change then back to Ronick just inside of Sidebar. To the backstretch, outside in the clear, that's Courageous Timmy. To the outside of Silver Nuggets, the trailer is Dallas Gold. 7 lengths front to back. The opening quarter went in 23.9 seconds. On the backstretch by a length now, Bruce Lee galloping along, trying to hold the advantage over Rainbow Gold, who's moved up to the outside. Costello's Kitten is third, 2.5 off of it with a half mile to go. Sidebar is now fourth. Then the other 4 in the field are all together at the back with Courageous Timmy having a clear path on the outside of Dallas Gold, Silver Nuggets, and Ronick. As they head to the far turn, it's still Bruce Lee there by almost 2. Half mile, 49.65 seconds. Bruce Lee asked by a little bit more now, or for a little bit more, by Diego. Up the inside, here comes Costello's Kitten with a clear path. Bruce Lee was well off the rail, offered it up to Costello's Kitten, and Costello's Kitten says, thank you very much. As they go to the stretch, Costello's Kitten on the inside by a nose over Bruce Lee. Ronick now coming up the rail. Here comes Dallas Gold and Sidebar. Furlong left, race on here in the opening leg of the Premier Pick 4. Up the rail, Ronick and Costello's Kitten. Costello's Kitten trying to fend off Ronick, trying to come on to the outside, Silver Nuggets. It will be Costello's Kitten by a half length over Ronick. Silver Nuggets was third, fourth, Dallas Gold.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Good level beginning
And the favorite Perth Amboy races out for the early lead. Split the Pack is there. From the outside, Little Cheeto is up in the mix with Ascended in between horses. They're followed by What About Shorty in 5th. Then comes Sweet Nation in 6th. Calachito, 7th at the fence, and the trailer is Ignite the Night. Up top, Perth Amboy taken on by Split the Pack as they race into the far turn. And it is Perth Amboy through a 22-2 first quarter, in front by a half length from Split the Pack. They are 3.5 lengths in front of a